This episode's brought to you by Red Cape Films.
Alrighty, welcome everyone back to yet another episode of Red Cape Sports. I'm your host, Bird Bouchard. And for those of you who haven't realized yet, the reason why my face is not shown in this video, quite simply put everyone, things with the coronavirus are slowly but surely starting to get very, very serious. Right now in Mitch and I's hometown, there's already about 50 confirmed cases, and definitely more to come with our proximity to the United States of America. So that's first and foremost. Just want to explain why I'm here, and to also remind everyone to please be safe. I know that it's fun, but definitely making unneeded trips to Walmart to buy packs is definitely think twice before you do that. So anyway, that's enough of that, but today I'm going to jump into this video. I have 5 underrated, never really heard of, never really spoken about, basically 5 different MLB players who just don't get enough love. And all these 5 players, luckily, their sports cards are pretty cheap. So I know that the last video I did get a lot of flack for Bryce Harper not being undervalued, but again, as they say, one man's trash is another man's treasure, and for those who do believe that he's trash, hey, that's my treasure. So starting it off, just gonna play it here. Just gonna mute the volume. Let's start it off with Almond Rosario. So for those of you who don't know, Almond Rosario actually had the 4th most hits in Major League Baseball last year post All-Star break. So you can see there, nice little double off the wall. Almond Rosario, star-studded player, next up-and-coming player, at least in my opinion. So he's just 23 years old, as we can see there. Last year he had 177 hits, and he's a stud. I mean, at the end of the day, 287, and he's in a lineup where the Mets are just a young up-and-coming team, and they're going to hit the crap out of the ball, especially with Pete Alonso. You got Michael Conforto also starting to heat up. So yeah, that's my first pick, Almond Rosario. Alrighty guys, next up on the list is a somewhat young 25-year-old in Matt Olsen. And now before you all roast me in the comments section, like I said, the title of this video is not necessarily undervalued players or even guys who nobody's heard of, but rather guys who are severely underappreciated and just don't get enough love or hype. Nevertheless, I do feel like Matt Olsen does kind of fit the entire bill. So just gonna click this, let it roll. As you can see, a nice inside out swing there, barely tugs the line. So Matt Olsen, yeah, he's an absolute stud. So what has he done over the course of his career to merit making this video? Well, for starters, he's 25. You can see he's definitely capable of playing an entire season there, as he has played 162. And look at these home run numbers, 24, 29, 36. And the RBI numbers are going up to 45, 84, and 91. Sure, the batting average is definitely not where we want it to be. But at the end of the day, like I said, if you continue to rake the ball like this, then your average doesn't really matter. And as we can see, he also won a Gold Glove. So Matt Olsen, definitely a good buy. Next up, I have another young player, one of my personal favorites, and that's Austin Meadows. So Austin Meadows, he came into Major League Baseball. I mean, this guy's a stud. He does it all. He hits for power, hits for average, steals bases, and has a flawless glove. So you can see there as he showed his power. Now his numbers, what has he done over the course of his career? Well, first and foremost, you can see right there in his rookie season, he was also an all-star. So that definitely says a lot. 33 home runs, 89 RBIs, and he batted 291. Like I said, this guy does it all. Definitely shows his speed as well. 12 stolen bases, maybe not the most that you'd want, but I mean, he's a steal, guys, and he gets on base. And personally, I believe like the Rays are the next up and coming team. So there you go, a young, cheap buy in Austin Meadows. Moving on to our next guy, we got Reynolds. So this is definitely a name that not many people have heard of. Probably not unless you actually are a Pittsburgh Pirates fan. But you can see there, he's just got a nice swing. Drove in an RBI there. So Reynolds is, in my opinion, a very, very, very underrated ball player. You can see here he's only 24 years of age, 154 hits in 134 games. So, he didn't really have the entire season to show what he could do, but he did have most of it. And I mean, through most of that season, he batted 314. So 314 is definitely pretty good. 16 home runs, hey, I'll take it, and 68 RBIs. Give him 2 more in that 70. And I mean, like I said, he only played 134 out of a possible 162. So definitely excited to see what this young man can do in future seasons. And to round off the list, I got David Fletcher with a nice, beautiful hit there. I believe that should score 2 runs, and it does. So David Fletcher, he started off pretty well, then he got a bit quiet. Overall, though, not a bad season for a 25-year-old. You can see here he had 173 hits in basically an entire season with 154 games. But that 173 is definitely going to go up. And I definitely like that. Anytime that you can have 173 hits, basically in your second year, that just gives me a lot of hope and a lot of promise for the next up and coming years. Hopefully he can reach 200, and you'll definitely start to see his price card rise then. And again, he hits for average, 290 there. The RBIs, 49, weren't quite there, but now with Ohtani, with Anthony Rendon, and with Mike Trout, I'm sure this man will do more than great things. And again, his card price is cheap. So there you have it, guys. Those are 5 players that, people really don't talk enough about because we're always so focused on all the superstars. However, as Frank has mentioned before, and as I've mentioned, and as Mitch has mentioned, and the whole world is starting to get on this idea that you don't need to invest a lot of dollars, but rather you can spread out those dollars and get a lot of cheaper cards. Well, anyways, guys, like I said, that's the end of the video. 5 underrated players there for you all. Until next time, see ya.